What?
It's Michael thinks it's like Michael doesn't thinks that it could be his. So it could be his like it could be his 48 minions, or it could be his or the way he tortures them. And I think we touched on this last week when we were discussing the season 2 opener, is that it's the fact that Eleanor and Chidi, or Eleanor in particular, has learned something from the first time around, and now it's ingrained in her, no matter how many times they reset this.
Yes. Well, and that's sort of explained that Janet mentions that she, that every time she's rebooted, she kind of evolves a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. So she's retaining some of that, I think. And then I think that at least, well, what's interesting is that it's always Eleanor, but she seems to retain something every time as well.
Well,
at least a little something.
She's the one who had the most to learn.
Yes, that's true.
Because
Jason has a lot to learn, but he also doesn't know that he has a lot to learn.
Yes. Jason is gleefully ignorant of everything, and that just makes him so damn endearing.
Yeah.
I was. So, did you find what the obelisk meant yet?
The obelisk. Obelisk, whatever.
Yes.
I have not found.
This episode of What the Fork is sponsored by Bees with Teeth.
Yeah. If you'd like to be a real sponsor, you can email us at whattheforkpod@gmail.com.
Yes.
Oh, and, might as well mention our social media off the top. That it's What the Fork Pod on Twitter. And I confirmed we don't have an Instagram.
Yes.
Do you want an Instagram?
I don't know. Do we? You have one for all your other podcasts. Do you
I
not?
do, but I also don't. I don't manage to properly keep up on them either.
Yes.
So
as I was listening to on the way,
if I add one more Instagram account, it's just going to be another neglected Instagram account.
You knock yourself so much on social media, yet it's social media how we met.
This is true. Well, because I will post regularly to at LTD_engagement. Because it's just basically I took it over as my personal account. I'm like, there's almost no division between me and that podcast anyway. So I'm like, that'll be what I do all my personal stuff on, even though I still have some old personal account out there somewhere that I don't use anymore.
I found it.
Oh, did you do?
Yeah, I did. I found it. You haven't posted anything since 2016.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. So whereas, which, LTD_engagement at twitter.com often frequently speaks to at Jason E. Kyle, Keil.
Yes.
Yes.
Indeed.
On the twitter.com.
Indeed.
Or the witty banter goes online.
Yeah. If you have any interest in following the continuing thread of Bond Watch as I make my way through, which I, we'll point out in a moment here, but the People magazine that Mindy St. Clair is looking at, it has Pierce Brosnan on the cover.
Yes.
I fell asleep in the middle of which one was it? World Is Not Enough, or whatever the oil one was. Yeah.
Or that's the one you were watching, I think, last. And it took me by surprise. It's like, oh, this started again.
It did, yeah. I was just like, I need to get through these last two Brosnans so I can get into the Daniel Craigs. Mm-hmm. I think that I skipped the last two Brosnans because I remember having seen the Die Another Day. Wait, is Die Another Day the next one?
Yes.
Which is the Tomorrow Never Dies? Is that there's so much things that don't die. So many things that don't die in the titles of. There's GoldenEye, and then there's Tomorrow Never Dies, Oh, World Is Not Enough, and then Die Another Day. Mm-hmm. So there's two death titles, I guess. And I liked GoldenEye.
Yes, it's the best one.
I did not share Matt Myra's love for Tomorrow Never Dies.
No, it's Gorley swayed me on that one.
It wasn't a bad film. It also just wasn't good. It just kind of was. It was a blah film, and I wanted to like it because I love Ricky Jay, R.I.P., and I love Jonathan Pryce, and and Terry Hatcher has a soft spot in the heart of 90s Jared.
Lois Lane?
Yes.
And Seinfeld.
And Seinfeld, yes.
And Frasier, as I discovered. She was in Frasier.
Yeah, she was in an episode of Frasier.
Like his Duke's daughter.
Well, she was in, I don't know if you'll recall, she was in an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. It's the one with...
Tell me more.
Something, not Bruce Campbell, the other Campbell. The guy who played the Rocketeer.
Oh, Billy Campbell.
Billy Campbell, yeah. So he's the one in it. He's like the rogue captain or whatever.
What?
Yeah.
So you need to tell me, keep in mind, I haven't watched TNG in a long time. Like, I was going to rewatch it, and then I got distracted, as often.
It's 174 episodes of mixed bag.
Right. So there's an episode that not only has Billy Campbell, but also has Terry Hatcher in the same episode.
In the same scenes. And Terry Hatcher with very bouffant 80s hair.
My mind is freaking blown, dude. Please and please tell me this is like, is this an episode maybe with Tasha Yar in it, or
I'm trying to remember if Tasha's in it or not. I think it might be season 2, in which case no, because Tasha was only around for one season, so there would be no Tasha. No Tasha.
But oh man, it just I have to find this now.
I think it's season 2. It's like the Fabulous Okana or something.
Okay.
It's he plays a very much Han Solo type. Supposed to be a lovable rogue captain who's just out for himself, but he still has kind of a heart of gold.
Yes, it seems to be something Billy Campbell has this niche on. I feel like he does, because I know. Have you started watching the OC yet, Al?
Not yet. No.
He has a brief character arc as the lovable but yet rebel magazine editor that kind of falls in love, or they tease a relationship with Peter Gallagher's wife.
Oh.
Ambrose's
the forbidden
mom.
fruit relationship kind of thing.
Yes. But they just come from two different worlds, Jared.
And she's married to those eyebrows. How can
she is.
The greatest eyebrows in Hollywood.
Oh.
But I have not managed to find the meaning of the symbols of the obelisk, possibly because it's too much to type into the Google.
Have you tried the Bing? Is ask.com still
Please
a
be
thing?
serious, sir.
Is ask.com still a thing?
This podcast is never sponsored by Microsoft. Or probably Jonah Ray either, for that matter.
Who else have we?
The voice of Bing.
That's right, he is, isn't he?
I don't know if he still is, but he was, right? I remember that at a time when we could all still listen to the Nerdist, that they would make jokes about that. Yeah. Oh
man, which seemed odd because Matt was working at the Genius Bar. When that whole thing started, so it was like Apple versus Microsoft.
It was right there. Justin Long versus John Hodgman.
NPR versus Jock Rock Radio. Hey guys, I'm Justin Long. I was in a Kevin Smith movie.
All right, so this is promising. IndieWire says 10 Easter eggs you might have missed in The Good Place. No, this isn't The Good Place finale. I don't want that.
I think we need to.
Did you watch the season finale?
I did. So, which
we obviously can't talk about it, but oh boy.
Yeah, it got me good.
Yeah, right in the feels.
Yeah,
right in the feels. All right,
it tugged on some heartstrings.
It
did.
It tugged. It like
I wouldn't
tied a
say
weight to some heartstrings and dropped him over the side of a bridge.
It grasped forcefully. So
yep. Anyway, so let's get back into
doing good.
It's growing on me a little bit.
I love.
This is what I want.
Yes.
Sweet dewdrop, I have written you a 3-hour spoken word jazz opera.
Cool.
More, less and more. Who's it for? For you, my dewdrop, cream of the crop. Top to the bop, to the pop, to the top.
Okay, no.
What?
No.
What's the name of the band?
No version of
hang
heaven
on.
for
Okay.
any.
Let's see. Let's back it up just a little bit.
For you, my dewdrop, cream of the crop. Top to the.
The Jazz. Jazz Shane.
Shaners?
The Jazzinators?
The Jazz Splainers.
Oh.
Yes, the Jazz Splainers.
Oh, God, that's awful.
It is super terrible. Super forking terrible.
Yes.
But I do love, first of all, Denise on Triangle.
Yeah.
Terrible. But I would go see Michael and Janet as a rhythm section in a jazz band. They have fit in perfectly here.
And I'm pretty sure at some point Denise is like, why am I playing triangle? It's such a stupid instrument. Why can't I play saxophone like a...
Yeah, we're gonna get to that here.
Okay, no.
What?
No. No version of heaven for
'Cause
anyone
Michael's
would
line in
ever
this is
include 3 hours of this. We're in the bad place, aren't we?
Damn it. That was a real trip for biscuits, and now we're all wet, Daddy-O.
I never even got to play my stupid triangle.
No, Michael.
So-
Please don't kill me. I have so much to live.
So, as we've established, there's that other silly podcast.
The official one?
Yeah. Which is hosted by someone who
is awesome, unfortunately awesome.
Yes.
Mark Evan
Jackson.
Jacobs,
Yeah,
Jackson, whatever his name is. You're awesome,
who's from
dude.
my hometown.
Oh, really?
Or sort of. So he was Second City had a Detroit branch. And that's how he starts. So he frequently does charity work when he comes back. Like he'll do like charity shows when he comes back to Detroit. So that's the other reason why I love him. Other than, even though he hosts our podcasts and other podcasts, and we got him on our sites and we're going to take him down, but I'm going to, gosh darn if I'm not going to respect him for doing it.
I mean, he's an amazing improviser, and he's on one of the other great sitcoms that's on right now, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Which, are you watching that?
I am. I still haven't seen last week's episode, but
I won't. It's been pretty tight since they've... I was
talking about feels. I got a little bit of the feels at the last episode of shoot. Help me out here.
Jordan Peele's wife.
Yes. No, Gina.
Yes.
Gina's her character's
Gina
name.
Linetti.
Gina Linetti.
Who is
This is terrible. This is one of those things like an erection. Like the more you try to, the more you think about it, the worse it gets. Peretti,
Chelsea Peretti.
Chelsea Peretti. Yay!
Yay,
All right.
we did it.
I didn't even have to Google it. There we go.
So anyway, last